Hi, this is Professor Alexander. We're live from the Hood to Higher Education Studios. We are going to be talking about expanding your emotional intelligence. And remember, it takes a village. How's everybody doing today? Well, we're going to get right into it. So, Chapter 3 is expanding your emotional intelligence. In this chapter, we're going to learn the importance of emotional intelligence for school, job success. It also emphasizes the idea that positive attitudes and motivation are also essential factors for school success. Students need to focus on personal qualities and not just their grades and aptitude. Chapter 3 focuses on and highlights the importance of responsibility, dependability, positive attitude, civility, integrity, and character. Resilience is also an important personal quality rooted in hardiness and commitment. You have to be resilient. You have to overcome obstacles. This chapter, the learning objectives for this chapter also focuses on self-esteem. We're going to incorporate positive attitude and motivation, and we're going to be looking at some of the benefits of higher education. Stages of emotional maturity. So some of the stages of emotional maturity have to do with self-awareness, tuning into yourself, paying attention to your biorhythms. Me personally, I'm a morning person, so I get most of my work done in the morning. Then it comes a time in the day, I would say past 9 o'clock p.m., 10 o'clock p.m. This is where I am not at my optimal self. I can't peak my performance at that time because this is not my best time to perform. I'm a morning person, so my optimal performance tends to happen in the morning. Empathy is tuning into others, this family members, your student friends, your peers, paying attention to what they're going through and being there for them, supporting them. If there's a class that you're knowledgeable about, or if you have resources that your peers can tap into, share those with them. This is a part of being empathetic. Change is tuning into your results, paying attention to what happened when you did well on an essay, what happened when you did well on a test, and repeating those. Also paying attention to what happened when you had a negative result and trying not to duplicate those efforts. Be a class act. And what does that mean? These are things to avoid. We call it incivility in the classroom, not being civil, or also known as incivility. Walking into the classroom late repeatedly. Not only does this look bad on you, but it irks your professors. They remember that. We remember who is tardy. We remember who is constantly late. So you want to avoid that. Cell phones, put it on silent. If you have an important call, let your professor know ahead of time so you can step outside of the classroom and take that call. Falling asleep in class, this is a no-no. So getting your 7 to 8 hours of rest per night, this is optimal. This is something that is recommended. Texting during class. Don't want that to happen, folks. It's disrespectful to the teacher. Blurting out questions as opposed to raising your hand. Interrupting classmates while they're talking. Talking during the lecture. This is a pet peeve for instructors. If you have a question, wait for a pause, a break, so you can ask this question for clarification. And leaving class early is the same as arriving late. You are missing valuable class time. And think about it. You paid for this class, so you want to be there to get the information. These are the things that somebody that is prioritizing their education, they know they are responsible for. We are creators of our education and our success versus being a victim. Forming positive habits, managing time and stress, feelings around your actions, You're responsible for setting goals, study skills, and the time in which it takes to study. Knowing what resources are available to you at the college, asking for help, talk to your counselor, talk to your teacher either before or after class, meet them during their office hours. These are essential in order for you to be successful. Assessing your skills, take a career assessment, morals, values assessment, and see how they line up. You also are responsible for paying back student loans, your major in career planning, managing your money. Your health is very important. There's a phrase that says your health is your wealth. So make sure you're getting the adequate amount of sleep, you're eating right, and you're finding time to work out, even if that means going for a brisk walk. Self control, calm down. Okay, try not to let minimal things bother you. Okay, that's practicing emotional intelligence, realizing when you are frustrated or angry about something and what are we doing with these emotions. Clarify and define. How do you deal with frustration, resentment, anger? You need to know that anger affects the body, relationships, it affects our everyday lives. Emotional, mature people know how to control their anger. So listen with empathy and respect to your teacher, people in authority, your friends. Use I statements instead of you. You did this. I felt disrupted, or I felt happy when you did this. I felt a disconnect when so instead of you places the blame. When you use you statement, it places the blame. Focus on one problem. Don't refer back to the past. Just focus on that immediate problem and focus on win-win solutions. What are we going to do to come out on the other end as a winner? Self-esteem and confidence can develop from focusing on your strengths and positive qualities over your negative. We're not trying to be perfectionists. We want to focus on our strengths. We want to know that we can make a mistake and bounce back from it. Learning to be resilient, bouncing back after disappointments, setbacks, using affirmations, taking responsibility of your life instead of blaming others. We have a phrase that we say the victim versus the creator. You want to be the creator in your own life. The victim oftentimes places blame on others, places blame on their environment, places blame on things that didn't go right. Where the creator in their life, they make things happen. They find a way to overcome. Self-esteem and confidence can develop from learning skills that give opportunities and confidence in your abilities. Focusing on giving, not receiving. You've heard the age-old adage, it's better to give than receive. This still remains true. You want to be a giver, surrounding yourself with confident and kind people. And I would go as far as to add people that are motivated to do better, people that are motivated to do well in school. You want to surround yourself with these kind of people because you're motivated to do well in school. So you don't want to surround yourself with people that are slackers or people that have a low level of ambition, because this is not who you want to become. You decide to sign up for this college for a particular reason, and that's to graduate and go into your dream job or dream career field. A positive attitude and personal motivation encourages higher productivity and openness to learning at school and on the job. School and job satisfaction, creativity in solving problems and finding solutions, the ability to work with diverse groups of people. And that's what college is all about. It's a melting pot. It's bringing together people from all walks of life, all ability, all ethnicities, all gender lines, So the ability to work with diverse groups, this is paramount. Want to develop a positive attitude. A personal motivation encourages enthusiasm and a can-do attitude versus a can't-do. Confidence and higher self-esteem. The ability to channel stress and increase energy. A sense of purpose and direction. These are all things that a positive attitude and personal motivation can bring to the table. When what negative attitude really does is it makes you feel like a victim and helpless to make the change, where you can make the change. We are the change that we want to be. Focus on the worst that can happen in a situation. So in terms of getting a poor grade or your financial aid disbursement didn't go through, we need to figure out ways to combat that. We need to figure out ways to apply for a scholarship or do better on that next essay or assignment. Negative attitude makes you blame external circumstances for your own attitude. Sometimes external situations don't have anything to do with what you're going through. You have to become the creator in your life and create change, create a positive atmosphere to overcome that. A negative attitude makes you believe adversity will last forever. There's a very popular expression, trouble doesn't last always. You want to adapt that mindset and know that adversity is fleeting and it doesn't last forever. A negative attitude makes you believe that being angry and blaming others is the way to go. Well, we have to look at it with a glass is half full approach and not placing blame on others. We got to take responsibility for that adversity. Abraham Maslow describes the hierarchy of needs. And the hierarchy of needs basically states that in order to self-actualize, and this is the pinnacle, that could be graduating from college, that could be going into your career job. Abraham Maslow came up with the hierarchy of needs, which basically states that in order for us to self-actualize or get to a place where we are at our peak performance, we've reached our goal, certain needs need to be met. Physiological needs, we have to have food, we have to have water and shelter, we have to feel safe and secure, we have to have a loving environment. We need to believe in ourselves in terms of self-esteem. If we don't have the physiological safety and security, love, belonging, self-esteem, if these needs are not being met, then it makes it really challenging to self-actualize. These are motivational strategies. Act as if you are motivated. Being positive, using affirmations. Again, affirmation, the root word for affirmation is to affirm. I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. This is a famous affirmation that was on the TV show Saturday Night Live. Use visualization. Visualize yourself walking across that stage, reaching your goals, graduating. Visualize yourself going into that dream career. Use goals as a motivational tool. Understanding expectations. These are things that are expected in your life. What are you expected to do? Are you expected to transfer from this community college to a 4-year college and graduate? Understand those expectations and moving towards them. Study in teams. I'm a big fan of study groups. I created a study group when I started to struggle while taking statistics in college, and it helped me to get an A- in stats. So study in teams. 2 minds, 3 minds are better than 1. Stay physically and mentally healthy. Read books, watch TED Talks, always go to workshops, take classes, be physically healthy, work out. This is important. Learn to reframe. This can be dialing back your alcohol usage, dialing back your video game usage. You have to focus on what's important and reward yourself. When you do well, throughout the quarter, throughout the semester, and get a good grade. Make sure you're making an opportunity to take yourself to the movies or go out to dinner with a significant other or friends or family or loved ones. Make learning relevant. And what that means, what that entails is make learning relevant to your life. Okay. The benefits of higher education. This encourages critical thinking. You may just get discouraged and underestimate the benefits of higher ed. You are not marking time or putting off life until graduation. Higher education goes way beyond career opportunities and higher pay. The learning experience in itself is valuable. Students learn to manage their time and juggle many tasks at once, build leadership skills, achieve communication and team building skills, and higher education allows us to learn delayed gratification. Taking general education helps you make broadly, uh, taking general education classes helps students make education worldwide. Learning to write, speak, and think creatively and use critical thinking skills and make sound decisions are foundations of educated people. Understanding the history and cultures and the complex world frees people to think and understand themselves and the world around them. Because workers change jobs so often, a liberal arts education can help you transfer skills and competencies and adjust to a changing world. Encourage encourage yourself to keep using your critical thinking skills. Keep the essays that indicate that you've written for English and your critical thinking class, because you can use that as an analysis. And you also have the ability to integrate concepts from different disciplines and merge those into one another. College graduates also, on average, earn much higher salaries and have more career opportunities, better workplace conditions, more job promotions, and greater job satisfaction. So, what kind of worker slash student are you? Some students, if you have the mindset of keeping a job, that is the same mindset that you need to have in keeping up with your schoolwork. With jobs, you get paid. Being a college student, you don't see that result right away. But you know, statistics show us the higher your level of education, the more money you're going to make in life. And that's just the reality. So a peak performer, a A student is going to be a peak performer. But a B student, they may be a good worker or a good student. An average worker or student, that's in the C category. What kind of worker are you? Are you giving your job the same amount of time and energy that you're giving your school? If you're going for a promotion for your job, you don't want to be a C worker. You want to be an A worker. These are all things that we need to remember and keep in the back of our minds as we are pursuing our goals. It's important. Overcoming obstacles. Build positive habits. These are one of the things that you can use to overcome obstacles. Me, I had to prioritize time to study. I had to set aside time weekly in order to get my work completed. I wanted to create positive mental shifts. If I was having a negative thought or feeling some anxiety around biology or math, some of the subjects that I struggled with earlier in my college life, I created a positive mind shift by going to my study group, talking to my counselor to reduce anxiety. This creative, positive mental shift helped me do well in biology and mathematics later on. This was chapter 3. I want you to be conscious of what we learned. Reflect back on some of the things that we talked about in terms of building a positive attitude, the victim versus the creator. How are we establishing daily routines? How do we deal with anger, frustration, resentment, disappointment? These are ways to tap into our high level of emotional intelligence. You have the ability to do well in college. And these are some of the strategies that we implement in order to become a successful learner. Again, I am Professor Alexander, and just remember, folks, it takes a village. Be on the lookout for the questions for chapter 3 that you will have to answer online. Peace, folks.